Are you over 21? Are you Bermudian? Then you're literally almost halfway there to being a member of parliament. If you want to become a member of parliament, you need to fill out one of these forms here. And in this form, depending on whichever of the 36 constituencies you want to run in, you need to get 2 registered members to nominate you. How do you know if you're a registered member? So you know if you're a registered member if you are able to vote in Bermuda. And if you don't know if you're able to vote in Bermuda, go to elections.gov.bm and find out. Okay, so let's go back to this form real quick. So depending on whatever constituency you're running for, the persons who nominate you must reside in that constituency. So they'll put their names here, constituency here, the name here, and constituency there. And it must be 2 people who nominate you. And then your name will go in here with a couple of other informations, and then it has to be signed. And then on nomination day, you'll bring that form as well as $250 to the account general to be nominated for the general election. Running in an election independent is very difficult. There's only been one person in our history who's ever been elected during a general election running independent, and their name is Stuart Hayward. And even himself was like a co-winner, because back in those days they actually had 2 people who was the constituency MP for each constituency. And on top of that $250 that you actually contribute, you gotta understand you still gotta pay for campaigning, and then who knows how much that's gonna cost. And if you're part of a party already, then they might have some funds to cover that. But if you're going independent, you really have to rely on your own money and also maybe someone who might be backing you. But then you gotta remember that you're competing against legacies, and also having someone back you can and might mess with some of your own, ethical decisions. So the Premier can call for a general election between any time of the life of Parliament, which is 5 years. The last election was in 2020, so we're looking at any time between today and 2025 that the Premier can call for another general election. But we do know from an exclusive interview that the Premier did with me in March that the PLP party is actually planning to have an internal election sometime this year, and that the Premier, this will be his last term being Premier.
Because I think it's vital. I'm not planning on being here forever. Though I'm the youngest premier in the country's history, I'm not planning on being here forever. And it's important that you continue to bring in people to make sure that you have policies in place internally in the party, which continues to develop people to take over these roles. I mean, we're certainly blessed now having 30 seats, which is a blessing in some cases and a curse. But at the same time, I would say, you have to certainly look towards the future. And I think that's what I'm committed to do as the leader of the Progressive Labour Party. I mean, we have an internal election that's coming up this year in October. I've told the party that this is my last term that I'll serve as leader, and successful in October. And then, you have to work to find other replacements and to make sure that you have people that are willing to come behind you.
And so here's the last deal. We know that running for independent can be a long shot, but we also know that it's not impossible. If it happened in 1989, there's a higher chance that you could actually win as an independent in 2020 moving forward. I mean, there's a lot of ways for someone to get recognized and have their own platform, so the community already know them well enough to want to have them up there in the House of Assembly every Friday helping turn this island around. And lastly, it's good to also note that if you do become an MP, that's $50 grand a year.